Well, welcome to UCASH Interviews. We have Saad Shah. Welcome for joining us here, Saad. Tell me a little bit about it. I heard your role is very unique and you have a lot of things to do, but not in the daytime.
Absolutely. So I'm the team lead for the customer support over here at UCASH. Our busiest times are at nighttime, and that's why I put myself in the night shift. However, we do cover 24-hour support. We've got guys here today right now, and they are working on support. But mainly, I like to be in the nighttime because of the traffic that we get around 4 in the morning.
So why do you get more traffic in the evening? Like, why is it people can't, like, they're insomniacs? Like, what's the traffic for?
So pretty much because we are an international company, we've got users in Vietnam, in Nigeria, in Indonesia, and in Russia. And it seems that around 4 in the morning, they're all interested to talk about UCASH.
Oh, that's incredible. Okay, so your day really starts at 4 in the morning.
That's correct.
Oh,
yes.
that's really neat. So tell me some of the I think you mentioned earlier when we were talking before about the amount of users overall that you have, that UCASH has. How many users overall?
So we have about 600,000 plus users.
Wow,
which is amazing.
Amazing.
Yes, and we're growing every day. Every day we're getting new signups.
Wow, that's incredible.
We have about 300,000 active wallets. So that means people that have withdrawn their funds, it has gone into 300,000 separate wallets. So that shows us unique users, individual users. From those 300,000 unique users, we've only gotten about 30,000 requests for customer support. And this is something...
That's still a pretty big number, 30,000.
Yes.
That's pretty big.
It is a big number, and we are able to handle it, which is phenomenal. But I also like it because it's only 10% of our 300,000 active users.
Right.
If we had all of them messaging us all at once, then we would never get our job done. So we do appreciate the fact that the users, when they have questions, they don't immediately just ask us, they observe our channels as well. So they'll sit there and just observe Telegram and see what kind of responses other people are getting in order to answer their own questions. And in that matter, they don't ask us at all.
Oh, so it's like it's really about the crypto community type of way of doing it. Is like listen first,
yes.
see if your question's there, how people are asking it, what they're doing, and then sort of go into it. But I've also heard that maybe why it's also, even though 30,000 is a huge number, that you do a lot of support and, I guess, not hand-holding, but sort of take out in users right through, like the different types of support you have to answer their questions right away, to make them feel comfortable, to be able to maybe find answers themselves, right? Sometimes it's that expectation or that confidence level that people have. Like, I think I got the answer, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's very important as well, because I would say about 90% of our token holders are brand new to the cryptocurrency industry.
Right.
So this is their first experience with it, and they're not actually sure what they have to do, what the processes are and the procedures, and what kind of issues you might face with cryptocurrencies that are out there. So when I see something like that, I give some extra patience to them, because I was new to cryptocurrency as well last year.
Right.
And it took some time for me to learn things. So I'm very patient when it comes to that.
So you put yourself in their shoes and kind of see, and also you mentioned that there's a lot of language barriers.
Absolutely.
So in order to sort of understand, well, what are they really asking? So tell me some of... do most people communicate in English, or do they communicate in other languages?
So we allow each user to communicate in their own language, and we use Google Translate, which is great. It works out 90% of the time. It translates what they're trying to say.
Right.
10% of the time, actually, Google Translate does not have their language in there.
Right.
So we're forced to pick on keywords. And we use other tactics, like asking them to send in screenshots. That'll always explain the situation better if they're not able to verbalize it.
Right.
And they on their end as well use Google Translate when we're talking to them in English.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And do they use it on their own, or is it something that you suggest? Like, do you suggest?
It is something that we suggest sometimes, but I find these users use it on their own as well. Like, if they only speak Russian, they're gonna use it when we have something to say and when they have something to say.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting. You could actually have a relationship across the planet and,
yes.
and as well in different languages, and still sort of meet the ultimate goal, whether it's to participate. That's really... So tell me about like a typical day. I don't know if that even exists here, because
typical day,
a typical night. So not a day,
yeah,
but a typical night. And I know you've mentioned you have goals at the end. As the sun rises, you have specific goals. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
So we cover multiple platforms: Facebook, Telegram. We have a chat service that's powered by Kayako. And pretty much everywhere that somebody can talk about UCASH. So this includes YouTube. This includes somebody leaving notes underneath any one of our exchanges. So we have to constantly check on this because we don't want to leave any user feeling that we haven't addressed their issue.
Or ignored, yeah.
Absolutely. We try to route everyone into Kayako so that it's documented, but at the same time we want to address people's issues in a general manner as well. Like I said, 90% of them don't get in touch with us. They're counting on us answering someone else's questions.
Right, to be able to see it. And you mentioned that you have earlier that you have a specific goal, like a good day. So
yes.
A good night.
Yes.
A good night would be when you leave and the day staff comes in. What's kind of some expectations that you put on yourself and your team?
So the expectations are that we maintain live chat. And the way to do that is to keep our request at 0. One comes in, we answer it, goes back to 0. And with our team, we're able to do it, which is great. About 2 weeks ago, we were stuck at about 14,000 requests.
Wow, so 2 weeks ago from 14,000 to 0, and that's continuously coming in.
Yes, now we're maintaining live.
Wow.
So we're able to maintain it through the day, through the night, and it's actually a much better experience for our users.
So if you had to recommend something to users to be able to help with the communication, you mentioned Google Translate, you mentioned screenshots. Is there anything else that you think would be helpful?
Other than that, try your best to communicate with the words that you are able to communicate with. If it has to do with the withdrawal, we'll understand when you write the word withdrawal. We will look into everything that you're asking about your withdrawal specifically. Those keywords really tend to help us out because sometimes that's the only word that you'll understand in the entire sentence.
Excuse me.
So these keywords are very important. Screenshots, of course, are important. As for anything additional, speaking with the ambassadors in their community. So we have ambassadors in almost every community that we have in Telegram, and they're phenomenal. If they weren't there, then we would have to go into every single channel that we have and translate and speak to these people individually.
Oh, that's incredible. So they're an integral part of your
very important,
global care.
Very important. These ambassadors came on as volunteers, and they were given opportunities to be ambassadors, and they've taken time to do things that somebody who's getting paid full time wouldn't do.
Right.
Our ambassador in Russia, Kirill, he has gone and translated everything that we've ever created into Russian.
Oh, wow.
And he does it for fun, which is great.
That's
He'll always show me at the end of the day.
I think every employer would want to have somebody so dedicated, even paying for it, let alone volunteer. That's
absolutely
incredible.
It's the passion that I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can sense the passion in the ambassadors and the users. You
can see it. You can see it.
Wow, that's really neat. That's really across borders, across language barriers, you can still feel that passion.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
great.
It shines through.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Bye.